Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of 10 Unedited Minutes with Marlena. If you're on YouTube, you can see just a little head down in the corner of the screen. That's my granddaughter. This is what happens when you agree to babysit while moms go off to work. So, yeah, we have a little guest today. So if you want to say hi, say hi. Otherwise, let's get started with 10 unedited minutes with Marlena. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you had a good Mother's Day. Hopefully you got lots of flowers, and like I did, I went out and bought flowers and I got them planted. And let me tell you something. This is the earliest I have had my flowers planted ever. And that's because I've always been so busy and so tired that I would not take the time to do it until about mid-June. So we're getting stuff in the garden. We got the flowers planted. So hopefully this place will look nice and beautiful here in a few weeks. So what are we going to talk about today? I came across something this morning that was very impactful. And I'm sure a lot of you already know that it is graduation season. And UNC, the University of North Carolina, I hope I get that right, I feel like they have done this before. They always have such an impactful keynote speaker at their commencement ceremony. And this year did not disappoint. Eric Church, who is, if you don't know him, who are you? No, I'm joking. Eric Church is a very famous country singer. He gave the keynote speech at this year's commencement at UNC, and it was impactful, life-changing. I truly feel like, or hope, that every single one of those graduates and every single one of those people listening took his advice. So I want to break it down a little bit today just because it has touched me so very deeply. He compared life to his guitar. And how fitting. He's a country singer, right? But it was pretty damn cool. So he went through the 6 strings on a guitar, and he said, everybody, when there's a key or a note out of tune on a guitar, I'm probably fucking this terminology up, but just bear with me. When there's a string out of tune on a guitar, you know it. He said you don't need to be trained to hear it, but if it's out of tune, you know it. And he said, life is like the strings of a guitar. And he said, when one string is out of tune, everything else feels off. Everything. And so he played the first string, and that was the D string, I think. And he said that is the thickest string on a guitar. And it was low. He said that D string is that D string is your foundation in life, right? And what is your foundation in life? And I hope this is it for everybody. Your faith. Your faith is the foundation of life. And it holds the universe he said it holds the universe in all seasons. But what I want to say is, if you tend to your faith at every stage in your life, ups, downs, lows, highs, happy times, sad times. Wow, somebody's tired. You're always gonna have something to come back to. And think about that for a minute. Just think about that for a minute. When you are extremely happy, why? When you are extremely sad, why? If you have God in your life, Jesus Christ in your life, that is, at least for me, that is who I fall back on every single time. That is your constant above anything. Your family, your friends, your job, you always have Jesus Christ to fall back on. So tend to that. Water that flower, okay? String 2, Eric Church said, is family. He said it's a string that is easy to love. It brings body and richness to a song, which is what your family does. And right above your faith, I think the reason we can place family right above our faith is because that's the second thing you have to fall back on, right? I am very lucky. I come from a very close-knit family, and I know that I can rely on every single one of them. And he gave the example of how your family sees you at your best and sees you at your worst. And he said they see you at your actual worst, not at your social media worst, right? So when all the cameras are gone, when all the phones are put away, and you are at your lowest point, your family is in that room with you, living that lowest point. So tend to that as well. Water that flower. Family is absolutely everything. And like I said, if you water that flower, that means you show up for them. Like Eric Church said, show up when it costs you something and protect it. Protect your family at all costs. Okay? The third string is the D string. He said that's your heart, right? That's your heart. And in your heart is everybody wants companionship. He said that could be your partner. And he said, choose your partner wisely because they should and will amplify everything. They could either, what did I write down? He said they can either pull it into a mess or pull it together. And you both need the same compass. Yes, I took notes, right? So choose wisely, love them fiercely, and learn to know when to walk away, right? If they are not fulfilling your life, if they are not pulling your life in the direction you want it to go, or you both want it to go, you both need to agree on that, then just agree to disagree and walk away because God has somebody else out there for you. Okay? All right, so we are on to the G string. And of course, Eric Church chuckled at that. He's like, I'm sorry, that's just what it's called, right? The G string. But he compared the G string to ambition and resilience. Okay? Those two things are going to pull you in opposite directions. Trust me when I say that too. They will pull you in opposite directions. He said, it's good to want things. You always want things. And just like I have said on this podcast before, you need to set goals to get to those things. And part of that is writing that goal down or speaking that goal out loud and setting a timeline and setting a deadline. And it's not a goal if you don't do any of those things. So also in this string category, there's failure, right? If you have ambition and you have resilience, you're going to have failure. The thing about failure is how you get back up, right? If you fall, you have to get back up. You have to figure it out. And you have to get back up and be stronger than how you were when you fell. Okay? Trust me when I'm speaking all this, right? This speech touched me in ways so deeply because I have lived every single one of these examples that he put out there. So get back up, right? Get back up. And I am, and I will. And right now I'm getting back up. Tune that string, he said, and keep on playing. So we are tuning our strings and keeping on playing. And then the B string. I think he said B string. People were clapping when he said that, but that's your next string and that's your community. Okay? You always have something that centers you, and that is your community. And when you start to feel things kind of shift, come back to that. Come back to your community and just sit there. Sit in that for a minute and listen to what it has to say. And tend to that community as well. Get out there, volunteer, do something. I've always said, if we want to talk about a business reference here, a good mentor once told me that if it's good for the community, it's good for your business. right? And I followed that with every decision I made at the dough hook, and it usually paid off. So take care of that community. And you have a global community and you have a local community. He said, in today's world, your global community is more visible than your local community. And ironically, the local community is the one you need to tend to the most, because they're the ones who's going to be for you and be there for you in the end. Church, that's also in your community. I have found great family and great friends in my church. Go to church, okay? Go to church so you can water that D string, that foundation of everything, your faith, right? And if you're not watering your faith, and if you're not going to church, again, right? It ties all together, right? Church ties into your community, and if one thing's out of balance, everything is out of balance. The sun is starting to get into my eyes. So we're going to close that curtain. There we go. All right, and the final string. We're going to end, we are over 10 minutes already, but I knew this was going to take longer. The final string is your high E. That's your thinnest string, Eric said. It bends the easiest. He said, do not compare yourself to others on social media. He said there's going to be times, and there's people in this world that see stuff on social media and they try to match their lives to other people's that they see on social media. And remember, social media is a highlight reel. And sometimes it's a lie reel too, right? Like, people make themselves look better on social media than what they are. Trust me. There's documentaries out there on it, guys. Do not compare yourself to others. It's your life. Live your life the way you want to live it. And that's how you're going to be successful. What, sweetie? I think Papa's home. You can go out there with Papa. Okay. Okay? Say bye. Bye. Okay. The grandbaby's going to go see her Papa. Okay. So, where was I? Do not compare yourself to others. It says you are unique. She can't get the door open. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Pause. You got it? Here you go. Bye, Punk. Bye. We are back. Sorry for the interruption. But that's life, right? Where were we? Do not compare yourself to others. There's people out there on social media that you think that you can live up to. Don't let it fool you, guys. Don't let it fool you. Focus on yourself. Focus on your life. And that's the important thing. Focus on your family. Focus on your church. That's the important things. And he kind of ended it, he ended it with singing an amazing song. But he ended it with, the world does not need another cover song. It needs an original. Okay? And the one thing he said in his conclusion was, when all of these strings are in tune, your life feels full. And it's true. When things are going good, and when all these strings are balanced, life feels good. But you know what makes it feel even better? Is that very first foundation, your faith. When you lean on God, it makes the hard times feel easier, and it makes the good times feel better than what they are. Okay? And he said the one thing that you can do if you start to feel like one of these strings are out of tune is, he said, sit down and figure out which one's out of tune. He said that's important. That's vital. Figure it out and take the time. He said, one of the things he said, and I didn't write this down, I remembered it. He said, take the time to figure out which one's out of tune. Do not just turn up the volume and ignore it, because trust me, it will catch up to you. That's called burnout. In business, it's called burnout. When you turn up the noise, when you turn up the volume, and you let all the other things that are out of control, when you try to keep them hidden, it catches up to you in ways that takes a long time to unravel. So What an amazing speech. Eric Church, what an amazing, amazing speech. Good job. It was impactful. I'm pretty sure it's going viral out there on the internet right now. And I really hope that people take the time to listen to him and take the advice that he gives, right? Just sit back. Sometimes you just have to sit back and figure out which one of your strings is out of tune, and don't expect that to take, a 5-minute think session. It could take 6 months to figure out which one of those strings are in tune. And it could mean that you have to sit back for 6 months and just look at the world, watch the world around you, and figure it out. And when you do, you'll know it. You'll know. You'll know. So, we went way over today. We are 15 minutes. Sorry it was a little choppy, but I had my favorite little person beside me, and asking a 3-year-old to sit for 10 minutes is a monumental task. So she had to get up, and thankfully Papa's on the other side of that door and could entertain her while I finish this up. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope this today's podcast is a meaningful one for you. And if you didn't get to hear Eric Church's speech, then hopefully I did a good job at summing it up. But I love you all. Pray for me. I will pray for you. Have a good day, and we will see you later. Bye.